Starting over can be painful, but it's also an important part of the healing process. Everyone can benefit from a reset, a time to figure out what they want and don't want in a relationship. But sometimes, despite our best efforts, history repeats itself. On today's case, Ms. Cole says she left one bad relationship for another when she married her husband, Mr. Grimes. She says that in the last 10 years that they've been married, she has dealt with infidelity, gambling, and even financial ruin. She says her husband has absolutely no respect for their union, and she wants a divorce. Ms. Cole says she wants her husband to sign the divorce papers today so she can set herself free from this marriage. Is it over? Let's hear their case.
Court is now in session. The Honorable Judge Starr presiding. Your Honor, this is the case of Cole versus Grimes.
Thank you very much. Ms. Cole, you are here in court today because you say you want a divorce. You say that for 15 years, your husband has given you nothing but heartbreak, and today you're ready for him to set you free.
Yes, Your Honor.
And Mr. Grimes, you're here today because you say you are desperate to save your marriage. You say you love your wife and you want nothing more than to be able to prove to her that you are ready to be a new man.
Yes, Your Honor.
Ms. Coles, Mr. Grimes, you all have been together for a very long time. I'd like to see, is this marriage really over? Ms. Cole, tell me, what gets us here in court today?
Your Honor, I've been with him for 15, 20 years, and we don't live as husband and wife anymore. We haven't for 4 years, and I just want to be done with this chapter in my life and move on.
So you say it's been done and all that's left to do is the paperwork?
Correct, yes.
Well, Mr. Grimes, Ms. Cole says that for the last 15 years, you all have been together, but for the last 4 or 5 years, not so much.
Yes, Your Honor.
So what would you say to her allegations that it's time to just stick a fork in it because it's done?
It isn't over, Your Honor. We've cohabitated for the last 15 years. It wasn't until 5 years ago that we decided to get married. And I think that she's my soulmate, and I know I'm not perfect, but I love her.
I understand that you love her, but the thing that is very important about a marriage is it requires two people to not just love each other, but to want to be together. And so let's just find out why Ms. Cole says that enough is enough. Ms. Cole, why don't you take me back to how we got here? I know that you met 15 years ago through mutual friends, but what gets us to this point?
We haven't lived as husband and wife for years, and this is the way he wanted things. He wanted me to move out, and there's no reason to stay together. I mean, we haven't lived together as husband and wife for 4 years.
So obviously something had to happen. What do you think made the relationship go apart? What ruined the relationship?
He inherited a large amount of money, and it
How much
changed
money
him.
are we talking?
Like $150,000.
That's a lot of money. That
Yes.
should have really secured your future as a family. Talk to me about how it manifested itself in your relationship.
He just changed into a different person. Once he got it, then I didn't see him for 3 weeks.
Really?
Yes, I knew he was still alive, but he left. He just gambled it all away.
All you have left is what?
To show for his inheritance is my truck. He bought us both a truck and gave me $5,000 to move out. I don't know what else he did with the money.
So let's turn on over to Mr. Grimes. Mr. Grimes, your wife says that you inherited about $150,000 and that changed you and you blew through the money. Is that true, sir?
Yes, Your Honor, it is.
What the heck happened?
It set a change in me that I had no control over.
What do you mean you had no control over?
The money was going through my hands so fast that I have a bad gambling addiction.
So have you sought help for this gambling addiction?
No.
Why not?
I'm still wallowing in the fact that it ruined my marriage.
Well, guess what? If you don't stop wallowing in that, you're not going to get any help for whatever addiction that you have. So I can't believe that you inherited $150,000. Somebody left it for you. I have to imagine whoever it was left it so you could secure your family's future. You could have purchased a home.
And he inherited a good chunk before that. This was like months before that. And so he knew that he wasn't good with money. And I told him, give that big chunk to my mother, you know, so we could get a nice house. And he did the exact same thing.
Excuse me, Your Honor. I did take care of home first.
What do you mean you took care of home first? What'd you do?
I bought her a truck, I paid the rent for 6 months.
No.
Wait, I don't even want to get to that first. I want to get to this statement that Mr. Grimes said he took care of home. You all were renting.
Yes, Your Honor.
Did you purchase a house?
No, Your Honor.
You know, long term, you both are in your 50s and you're closer to the grave than the cradle. So that means you want to secure your future and get yourself ready for retirement. A nice $150,000 nest egg, at least put it in some real estate. You didn't think about that, sir?
No, Your Honor.
I'm gonna turn straight over to your wife. What actually was he doing with the money? I'm sitting here in shock that y'all ran through that much money.
He paid for other women's rent. He didn't pay for 6 months' rent. He went to Vegas with two escorts.
No, you were right the first time.
Yes.
They can call them escorts, they can call them all kinds of stuff.
Prostitutes.
He just went buck wild
Right, exactly.
and took money that should have gone for your family and took it to Vegas
Yes.
with some
yes,
prostitutes.
Exactly.
Your Honor, I didn't know she was an escort.
Yes, he did.
She pointed it out to me.
No.
Well, what was she doing while
was
you
cute.
were with her?
She wasn't doing anything.
Sir, you didn't know she was an escort and she wasn't doing anything with you?
He went with 2 escorts.
Oh,
I
Two.
couldn't stay in the house because the stuff had built up so bad that I had nowhere to sit. If I got up off the couch, Your Honor, and moved outside for a minute and came back, she would have moved stuff to where I couldn't sit back down on the couch. Now-
you're talking about hoarding?
Yes, ma'am.
I am not a hoarder.
Okay, I know you submitted some evidence in that regard.
did.
Do I have a photograph of what you are talking about? Because I need to get an idea of what you mean when you say hoarded. Whoa. Honestly, that doesn't really look like hoarding. That looks like y'all don't clean y'all house.
It's messy. I'm not a hoarder.
Okay, with $150,000, you couldn't get somebody to come up in there and help you clean that house?
I didn't have access to the money. He gave me $5,000 to move out.
To move out to where?
And to my own place, I guess. He wanted me out. Even though I paid my own way ever since we've been together. You know, I paid my half. So I don't know why he thought that he deserved to kick me out.
Mr. Grimes, what makes you think that Miss Cole should want to be with you if this is the way you're going to behave?
When you're with somebody for so long, it's like your right hand. Would you cut it off to spite your face?
Not in the least bit, but I would not treat my right hand like it was a piece of crap either. Mr. Grimes, I'm confused. Why are you fighting for your wife here when you asked her to leave the house?
It was a rented house and it was getting destroyed.
No, that is destroyed, baby. That's not getting destroyed. That is destroyed.
Exactly, and I didn't want to have to pay after we moved out because it was destroyed.
It wasn't destroyed. It was messy, and I know that it's messy.
There was a bill for $4,000 just for the repairs.
We lived there for 5 years, and it wasn't all just me.
I understand that.
Miss Cole, what in the world? Why was there so much junk everywhere?
She's messy, Your Honor.
I am messy.
Is there a reason for that? Do you work outside of the home that you can't clean up?
Yes, yes.
What do you do?
I clean houses and I'm a caregiver.
No, you didn't say that. Sorry.
I know. But I'm not a hoarder. I'm not a hoarder. I'm messy, and I hate it. But I am messy. I have a shopping problem.
Miss Cole, I'm gonna tell you right now, you probably just ruined your ability to get clients for cleaning. 'Cause, baby girl, that right there does not say that you are a house cleaner.
Well, I know.
Mr. Grimes, none of that has anything to do with why you don't have anything to show for $150,000, sir.
You are correct, Your Honor, and that's my fault, and I did it.
I'd like to know what you were doing with the money because your wife is saying that you left. You have to explain to me what was going on.
Well, Your Honor, I was irresponsible, and I did go to several casinos, and I spent a lot of money.
On these escorts that you were hanging with?
No, on myself.
No.
And where were you staying when you were in Las Vegas or wherever?
I don't exactly remember.
So we're now all talking about an alcohol-infused time that you were gone also, right?
Yes, Your Honor.
Mr. Grimes, what makes you think that Miss Cole should want to be with you if this is the way you're going to behave.
I don't understand it myself, but when you're with somebody for so long that you can finish their sentences and you know what they're thinking, and the next thing that they're gonna do, it's like your right hand. Would you cut it off to spite your face?
Not in the least bit, but I would not treat my right hand like it was a piece of crap either.
I understand that. And this was years ago, and I've grown up and matured.
But you all have been separated, as I understand, for the last 5 years. You haven't even been living together. You told your wife to move out.
I did.
And she moved out. And I would imagine she's moved on with her life and she's trying to become the person that she wants to be.
Yes, she is.
Mr. Grimes, what kind of job would you have that would require you to go home every 3 days?
None.
You just were a vagabond and doing whatever you want to do.
I told him that one of these days it's going to be the last time that he does that to me.
Your Honor, can I explain?
You can try. If you'd like your case to be heard on divorce court, call us toll-free at 1-877-311-2222 or log on to our website at divorcecourt.com. Missed a show? Watch full episodes on our streaming platforms and follow us on social media for exclusive content.
He did things even before the money, though, that were grounds for divorce. Even before he got the money, he would stay out all night, and he wouldn't come home.
But, Your Honor, I was working 2 jobs.
No, if he was, that was no excuse of why he would stay out all night. And I told him one of these, first it would be like till 3 in the morning, then it would be 5, then it would be 1 day, then 3 days, then it was 3 weeks. You know,
okay, wait a minute, Mr. Grimes. What kind of job would you have that would require you to go home every 3 days?
None.
So in other words, you just were a vagabond and doing whatever you want to do.
Exactly. And I wasn't important enough for him to take 5 minutes to text me to say, I'm not coming home. And so I told him that one of these days it's going to be the last time that he does that to me.
Your Honor, I was working for the 10 years that we were together a full-time job, and I was also working side work. I was doing this to provide.
Okay, sir, I'm gonna give you some of the same lines that I give people all the time. Why folk want credit for stuff they're supposed to do? Everybody get up and go to work.
Right.
I mean, I don't know anybody that doesn't get up and go to work. And the people that don't get up and go to work, I don't want to know them because I get up and go to work.
Yes, ma'am.
You think I want to get up at 6:30 in the morning?
No, ma'am. But I would come home late at night, and she was complaining about where I'd been when I
Were you working?
Yes, ma'am.
Till 3 o'clock in the morning?
Yes, ma'am.
What kind of work were you doing?
Maybe every now and then, but not for 3 weeks. You don't stay out for 3 weeks.
I was on a remodel job, and my hours required me to be there to get the job completed.
In the middle of the night, it
Yes,
required
ma'am.
you to stay for 3 straight weeks?
No, not 3 weeks. But after 2 days of doing this, going to work on a full-time job and then working a job after work.
But you didn't get a break
If I don't
once?
come home, she's mad at me. So who wants to come home to a mad wife?
So you chose not to come home at all?
It was so bad on one of the jobs that I even left the job, came home and got her and brought her back to the job site, and she still had a problem.
Do y'all not have cell phones in your life?
We do, and mine was blowing up.
But how about tell your wife, I am at work?
I tried that.
That's not...
Miss Cole, I don't understand this.
No, he wouldn't be at work because sometimes his boss would call me and ask me where he was.
Where was he?
I don't know.
You said you do work outside of the home. What was going on in the marriage during this time? It doesn't sound like you all were in sync at all.
When he inherited the money, it
changed me.
Yeah, it changed him. But even before, there was grounds for divorce for him staying out all night. And then the money thing happened.
I heard that he left you stranded at work.
Yes, there would be times I would need to ride home from work, and I would say, okay, are you sure? Are you sure you're going to pick me up? And he'd say, yes, yes. And then at the end of the night, there'd be like 5 of us waiting to get a ride home. And he would leave me stranded and not come pick me up. So then the other person would be like, where's your ride? So I'd look like an idiot. So I'd have to call my 80-year-old mother out of bed to come and pick me up when she doesn't see good at night. And he knows this, and it wasn't important enough for him to come pick me up. He didn't have any good excuse.
Did you have a good excuse, Mr. Grimes?
No, Your Honor.
It sounds like your addiction was taking over from you.
It's very possible.
And have you done any work whatsoever to get the addiction under control?
I haven't gambled.
So we were talking alcohol, but now we're talking gambling. So have you done anything to get the alcohol addiction under control?
We've been through so much. It's not just any addiction. There's no repairing it. There will be no absolute way that I get back, and I won't allow him to hurt me that way anymore.
Mr. Grimes, I'm trying to get to the core of why you're even here, because your wife has said the marriage has been over for some time now. And if you want to fight for her, I need to hear something from you, because you don't sound like you're fighting very hard.
Not denying that.
But what would be her incentive to take you back?
Really, I don't know.
Ms. Cole, I can't even entertain the possibility of trying to suggest that you stay in a marriage that clearly is unfulfilling. The defendant is not in any way making a case for why you should stay in this marriage. Have you brought divorce papers to court?
Yes, I have divorce
Robert,
papers
can you please get the papers for me? I'd like to see how serious we are.
There's no way that we will ever get back together.
Well, I'm looking at these papers. Okay, Court of Arizona, I see both names. There's actually a case number.
Your Honor, I'm just asking for another chance.
Well, you know what? You don't get a chance with me. This would be something with your wife, not with me. I'm not the person. Ms. Cole, did you sign these?
We've both signed papers before. Those are new papers that...
Would you like the court to serve these papers on the defendant?
Yes, yes.
So you do understand if I serve these papers, then this is the official start of divorce proceeding.
Right.
Is that what you'd like?
Yes.
Mr. Grimes, I'm going to turn to you one last time. Is there anything you'd like to say to your wife before I have these papers served?
If that's what she wants, that's what she gets.
Robert, will you give the papers to Mr. Grimes?
Mr. Grimes, you've been served.
You know, Ms. Cole, you came to court today because you say your husband puts money and gambling and other women before you in your marriage. I actually think you've proved your case more than I've seen in a long time.
Oh, I could go on, but that's...
totally not necessary, because, Mr. Grimes, you couldn't even make a case for why you want to stay with yourself, much less why she should stay with you. I don't understand your behavior. I don't understand why you have not sought help. I would think if I was trying to get my wife to stay with me, that I would come into court with some examples of what I have done to change. To say to her, I've been to Alcoholics Anonymous, I've been to Gamblers Anonymous, I am X amount of days sober, I have not been gambling. I would come in here trying to show her that I'm a changed man. Instead, you come in here and said, basically, she should take me back because, she's like my right arm. You've been comfortable for a very long time, Mr. Grimes, comfortable in the knowledge that she will always be there, like a chair or something that you could come back and sit in when you are tired of being out. But that's not how marriage works, and that's not how life works, and this lady is entitled to a life of her own that she can make, that she's comfortable with. So guess what? You're gonna have to get comfortable with somebody else.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Okay, well, that marriage was over a long time ago.
Wow, was it?
I couldn't believe that the defendant didn't even know how to defend himself.
I mean, that's like going into an ice skating rink with roller skates.
With roller skates. Well, actually, that's going into an ice skating rink with shorts and a tank top on, because he wasn't prepared for anything. Actually, like I said, he's been comfortable for so long, knowing that she'd be there, you know, like a trampoline to catch him. And I'm glad she finally said, nope, I want my own life.
Yeah.
Good riddance.